Thank you, Acting President. I rise to speak briefly on the Crimes Amendment to Manslaughter and Related Offences Bill. I want to start by commending the Attorney-General and by extension the government on this bill. And while these reforms are long overdue, I'm glad to help these proposals finally become law. Darren Hinch's Justice Party will be supporting this bill. I would like to speak briefly to some of the changes the bill proposes, many of which the public would be surprised that currently don't even exist. And these include creating the new offence of homicide by firearm, clarifying the relationship between the offences of manslaughter, child homicide and homicide by firearm, and increasing the maximum penalties for the offences of manslaughter and child homicide. Each of the above reforms go some way in addressing the shortfalls in current sentencing practices for murder by homicide charges. They are therefore vital in ensuring greater public safety. I also hope that this bill is an indication of where the government is heading in terms of clarifying any confusion about how different manslaughter and homicide charges can be employed. While I'm glad to support this bill, it is not perfect. The amendments proposed and circulated by Ms Maxwell aim to address these shortcomings. South Australia, Western Australia, the Northern Territory and Queensland all have maximum sentences of life for manslaughter. These jurisdictions have made a concerted effort to ensure that their laws reflect the seriousness of the crimes which are committed. I commend Ms Maxwell on these amendments and call on both sides of the chamber to support them. While the government has noted that existing penalties are largely inadequate for such offences and has legislated to change this, it is our view that the proposed maximum term of imprisonment of 25 years is not in line with public expectations, and these amendments bring into line with public expectation. In addition to this, it should be noted that despite the government only passing its industrial manslaughter bill late last year, seemingly is already amending that legislation. The bill which we debated last year set a maximum term of imprisonment of 20 years for those who oversee the death of an employee while at work. Yet before that legislation had even come into effect, it is already being amended. The government either believes it was wrong with its industrial manslaughter bill last year or it is wrong now with the imprisonment changes. Serious laws should not be changed so flippantly. While those responsible for any death should be held to account with the greatest severity of the law, I'm sure many in the public would agree that murdering someone with a firearm and indirectly causing murder on a worksite through safety neglect should attract different penalties. That discretion and flexibility in terms of sentencing that the public expects is not included in this bill. Ms Maxwell's amendments also aim to address this. In summing up, I want to reinforce the point that Darren Hinch's Justice Party will be supporting the bill. It is a crucial bill which addresses far-reaching and needed change, and I look forward to the passage of this legislation. I hope the chamber also supports Ms Maxwell's amendments.